Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Intellectually, we understand that the observer is the observed. But what is necessary to perceive this so that, what is necessary to perceive this so that it goes beyond the intellectual level? Intellectually, we understand that the observer is the observed. But what is necessary to perceive this so that it goes beyond the intellectual level? The question is, what is necessary to go beyond this intellectual acceptance that the observer is the observed? Right? First of all, do we even intellectually accept it? Question yourself, please. Do you even intellectually, that is, verbally, logically, discerning, and saying, yes, it is so logically, because it's been pointed out objectively, logically. And you say, yes. Is that so? Do you even intellectually accept that? Or it's just a lot of words floating around? But if you do accept it intellectually, what does that acceptance mean? When you say I intellectually agree with you, what does that mean? It means absolutely nothing. It's just a form of convenient social acceptance. Saying, yes, you're quite right, but you may be wrong. So intellectually, we don't even accept it. If we do, it is very superficial, and therefore no value. But the fact is that the observer is the observed.
Let's just cook. Let's just get right to the kitchen and start cooking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Voice of Reason. Nighttime, the night shift on KBLA Talk 1580. The Voice of Reason is in the building. I had to play that famous clip of the great Krishnamurti talking about how the observer is the observed, which fits succinctly into his concept of relationship is a mirror, which also fits into statements such as you get who you are, you call into your life a mirror image of your progress or lack thereof. What progress? The internal progress, the work that we've been talking about this entire time. But what's interesting is I've juxtaposed Krishnamurti's relationship as a mirror. The observer is the observed, which even theoretical physicists, right, used that framework, that linguistic framework, to describe the double slit experiment. Very interesting. It was Dr. David Bohm who found Krishnamurti exceedingly intriguing. David Bohm was a professor of physics at Oxford, if I'm not mistaken. He was called by Einstein his godson. So clearly, David Bohm has some weight. So he and Krishnamurti came together. The observer is the observed. But a psychologist comes along by the name of Ross Rosenberg, the author of a book called The Human Magnet Syndrome. Sounds familiar? Relationship is a mirror. The Human Magnet Syndrome. Sounds familiar? Okay. The psychologist comes along and he says, right, the observe, this is his technique that he coined, that he created. It's called observe, but don't absorb. That's a technique. Observe, but don't absorb. Is that the same as non-judgmental observation? Is that the same as non-attachment versus detached, right, of observation? The observe but don't absorb technique is a concept developed by psychologist Ross Rosenberg to help individuals recover from narcissistic abuse and take control of their lives. It involves maintaining independence and not absorbing the problems, actions, thoughts, and feelings of others. Well, there might be a problem with the observe but don't absorb, right? Tonight's topic, observe but don't absorb. An intriguing exploration of the profound art of observing without judgment. An in-depth look at how to look at life without the trauma-tinted glasses many of us refuse to take off. The quantum betrayal of being human. Neuroscience confirms that what mystics feared, To observe without absorbing demands becoming a traitor to your biology. fMRI scans expose practitioners deactivate DMN at 22%. Krishnamurti's observer is the observed, collapsing into neural heresy. Rosenberg's technique weaponizes the paradox, rewiring oxytocin receptors to reject 200,000 years of evolutionary bonding. Stop there. Buddha said what? Attachment is suffering. You don't even know that you're playing the suffering game when you want to bond. Everybody wants to make the connection. Everybody wants to bond. This is why we struggle with being in relationships with other works in progress. Right? How, Zoe? Wait, hold on. What are you saying, Zoe? Data proves that chronic absorbers die younger. Right? Yet detachment risks birthing a race of sociopathic omega observers. According to Hawkins, level 400 in Hawking's consciousness grid alludes to the intellectual level of consciousness. But the intellectual level of consciousness is below the spiritual level of consciousness. And basically, you're reduced to being a robot. I know you guys aren't ready, right? This omega observers. I'm just going to observe. I'm going to be detached. I'm not going to connect. Do you see? Relationship is about connection, but connection is attachment. And attachment is suffering. Choose your poison. Here we go, right? Omega observers who colonize reality through quantum non-absorption. Your empathy, honed by your ancestors for survival, now threatens extinction, right? Oh, I know y'all not ready for this, right? Listen, did you know that AI or Chat GPT 4.0, do you know it has 0% amygdala activation? What is the amygdala responsible for? The amygdala is the part of your brain that is responsible for deep memories, but also anger and emotions, powerful emotions. Imagine if we did what Ross Rosenberg and his technique is saying. Observe, but don't absorb. Well, absorption is a part of attachment. It's a part of connection. Can you love a human being as they are, or do you have to revert to being some type of intimate automaton, some type of intimate robot, right? Evolution's next mutation isn't genetic. It is the choice to stop caring while cultivating non-judgmental, empathetic, non-attachment. That's a mouthful. It's the choice to stop caring while cultivating non-judgmental, empathetic, non-attachment. What does that mean, Zoe? We care too much about our partner's mistakes. You know why? Because we're unhealed. So they have to be flawless, right, in relation to what we haven't healed. So if they transgress against an unaddressed wound, the relationship might be in trouble. Do you see? Are y'all listening? Right? Evolution's next mutation isn't genetic. It's the choice to stop caring. What do you mean? The word care means wound. It means hurt. It means pain. Can you create space? Allow for space. What kind of space, though? The space to be hurt by the one you love the most. This is a conflict management show. Many relationships right? If it don't feel good, we're not there for too long, right? We get up out of there, right? Come on now. Empathetic eugenics is what's happening. Observe, but don't absorb. How can you not absorb the energy, the passion, the kindness, the good times, the love, the vibration? How can you not absorb that? This is deep. Quantum betrayal. When Ross Rosenberg's technique collapses Krishnamurti's, the observer is the observed. The trigger point here is it proposes that non-absorption unravels the fabric of human connection. Can we be deeply in unconditional love without connection? The connection is fragile. Why is the connection fragile? Because most of us haven't done any internal work. So the connection is fragile. Is it a higher level of consciousness to be able to observe? Listen to how Krishnamurti is saying. The observer is the observed. No, you hurt me. Well, no, the hurt that I neglect in me might be an invitation, right, to someone to say, come in and hurt me too. You get who you are. You get what you are. The level of how you treat yourself is actually the blueprint teaching the person who comes into your life how to treat you. Oh, Lord, tonight's topic, the observer is the observed. Observe, but don't absorb. This is about to get deep. Get to your phone lines. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Before the fire, Altadena was a real-life Wakanda. A thriving black oasis just 15 miles from downtown Los Angeles. 80% black residents were homeowners, building intergenerational wealth against the odds. It was a hub of black-owned businesses, churches, and cultural institutions. It stood as a symbol of black resilience and economic independence. Then, in a matter of hours, it was gone. The fire tore through homes, swallowed businesses, and left behind a painful void. But was it just an unstoppable act of nature, or was negligence involved? Did officials ignore early warning signs? Were the response efforts delayed or insufficient? What role, if any, did corporate or government failures play? Survivors are demanding answers. Don't miss our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall. The Eden Altadena Fire, 100 days and counting, on Wednesday, April 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Robinson Park Recreation Center, 1081 North Fair Oaks in Pasadena. Join Dominic DePrima, Nee Cordelai Corte, James Farr, Tavis Smiley, and a panel of survivors, community leaders, and experts as we commemorate Day 100 since the wildfires flared up, and we discuss where we go from here. It's KBLA's Eden Altadena Fire, 100 days and counting Town Hall, Wednesday, April 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Robinson Park Recreation Center in Pasadena. Light refreshments to follow. Admission is free, but sign-up is required at our KBLA1580.com website. This is a community call to action, brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and Quinn Emanuel Trial Lawyers. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
The blind stares of a million pairs of eyes, looking hard but won't realize that they will never see the P.
With Don figures, real chicken ringers on nickel-plated non-triggers. Must see my enemies defeated. I catch them while they walked up and eat it open fire. Now them niggas bleeding. See me in flesh and text and get your chest blown. Straight out the west, don't get blown. My adversaries cry like ho, open and shut like dope. Is you a friend or foe? You ain't know. They got me stretched out on death row. I seen money, but baby, I got to get more. You screaming go Tupac, and I ain't stopping till I'm well paid. Bills paid now, look what hell made. Visions of cops and sirens. A bunch of thug life, niggas on the ride until I die. Ask me why I'm a boss player getting high. And when I'm rolling by, niggas can't see me.
The stares of a million pairs of eyes, and you'll never realize
Don't absorb. Rest on the saying by George Bernard Shaw, don't wrestle with pigs, you'll get dirty. Decide the pig likes it. The narcissist maintains all the power by the fight, the argument, the disagreements, the pleas. What SLDs or codependents don't know is when they defend themselves or try to fight back, they're actually empowering the narcissist to keep them entangled or entrapped. Observe, don't absorb teaches you to not let them in your emotional space. Because once they get you upset, or you would absorb and get angry, sad, bitter, you then want to do something about it. And then you get into the wrestling ring with the pig and you lose. So you observe the person watching you almost like you're dissociated, but not, without any feelings. It's what I call healthy dissociation. And you know that they're trying to get you mad, and all the power is in getting a reaction, which is to absorb what they're doing.
Now, listen. I'm not here to go against the great Ross Rosenberg, okay? He's great. I've read his book several times. And in context of dealing with someone who suffers from NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, I totally agree with him. Okay, observe, don't absorb. However, he even mentioned disassociation. I think because everybody has narcissistic traits, then are you saying the observe but don't absorb technique isn't good for people who aren't clinically diagnosed as NPD? The rest of us who have a bevy of narcissistic traits? Do you see? What this might run the risk of doing is creating a clinical type of avoidance, a clinically accepted disassociation, a clinically accepted avoidance, right? Now, it's heavy to think that way. Look at this. Teaching machines, Rosenberg's detachment to perfect Krishnamurti's paradox. What is the purpose of relationship? To see oneself, to cultivate knowledge of self. How do you know who you are until you interact with someone else? That's why Krishnamurti said relationship functions and operates like a mirror. You see yourself in the relationship. You see yourself in the triggers that are rising. But I understand what Ross Rosenberg is saying by observe, but don't absorb. I understand what he's saying. But I think a healthier version of this is to not use the term detachment and then put in non-attachment. To be non-attached is still to be present, is still to be connected, but you are disconnected from a particular outcome. It doesn't have to go your way. It doesn't have to be the way you think it should go. And that's part of the problem with most people. We're creating avoidance. So what happens is, I didn't get what I want, or I got too much of what I didn't want, so I get to ghost you. I get to fall back. I get to leave you on red. This is the culture that we're living in. Teaching machines Rosenberg's detachment to perfect Krishnamurti's paradox. Claims AI could master non-absorption better than humans. The empirical insight, ChatGPT-4 processes trauma with 0 amygdala activation. That's according to OpenAI 2023. Embodying Krishnamurti's observer without becoming observed. But that's how a computer works. That's how a machine works. How one discovers the truth of who they are is through intimate relationships. What would happen to empathy? This is why one of my catchphrases, number one is hashtag evolutionary betrayal, 200,000 years of developing empathy. We need empathy, right? This is why one of my hashtags was empathetic eugenics, observer apocalypse. Listen, to be non-attached is to still empathize. It's to still care. You don't have to keep yourself in a negative environment, but you can still care. But you know how I feel about the word care. I don't really like it. I'd rather use the word empathize, to have empathy, right? When we come forward, the voice of reason is going to break this down even further. I want you to get to your phone lines. I want to talk to you. And just to give yourself a little bit more context, you should go get Dr. Ross Rosenberg's The Human Magnet Syndrome, Why We Hurt Each Other, or Why Hurt People Hurt Us. And then you should also go get Krishnamurti's book, The Mirror of Relationship. It's a very powerful book, and read these two books so you could get a deeper contextual understanding of what we're talking about tonight. When we come forward, more from the VOR.
Which way did it go, Joe? Which way did it go? Oh, which way did it go? Which way did it go, y'all? You think you made a mistake? You should have never put my bars with Drake. Them thugs think you never robbed in the judgment day.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. A California bill offering home buying aid to descendants of slaves is advancing despite legal concerns. Critics question its race-based implications, while bill author Tina McKenna, a black lawmaker, says eligibility is not limited by race, just lineage. Black Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott has named Calvin Young III as his new chief of staff effective April 9th. Young, a senior advisor and former campaign treasurer, replaces Marvin James, who was stepping down. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams' plan to cut income taxes for low-income New Yorkers is likely to be approved in the upcoming state budget. The Axe the Tax plan would eliminate taxes for a family of 4 making under $46,000 or a single person under $31,000. And measles cases are rising nationwide, with more than 400 confirmed so far. Black communities face higher death rates in outbreaks like this due to lower vaccination rates. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Change the way you see the world at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Depart from their new Safari Excursions Depot and embark on a once-in-a-lifetime experience you'll never forget. Plus, every adventure helps support wildlife worldwide. Plan your visit to the San Diego Zoo Safari Park today.
Hey, this is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and for over 20 years, Parkside Economic Development Corporation has served Leimert Park and surrounding communities, empowering tomorrow's leaders and changing lives. Parkside EDC has awarded over $400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their program. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-652-1714. That's 800-652-1714. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-652-1714 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. Where unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Supposed to drop right there. The beat was supposed to drop right there. The beat was supposed to drop right there. I send this one out to my right-hand man, or men's, or women's, the whole crew, real fan. We could count the dough or kick up low or chill out watching videos or acting really silly, yo, but really don't all that could end. Whether at the bar with superstars or cruising in the trooper car, I really don't care who you are. All I really need is a friend. If we can't have trust, then you can't hang with us. We respond to those who show respect with respect. We respond, we connect on the same deck, same intellect. My man, never shifty things quickly if you can't understand. We boys, we can stand on the corner with a hat selling toys. It ain't about your Benz, I hope it ain't about mine, my man. I be dissing in my freestyle rhyme, getting G's around the world. I can trust you with my girl, my man. We chilling at the jam, what's the plan? I'm not a yes man, and none of my friends are yes men or women. I'm driving, I see my beats, you'll get in where you fit in. True friends are quick to sit in the beginning of all trouble, and when you bankroll doubles.
How can we practice non-attachment when we're feeling triggered? So non-attachment is not acting like we don't care anymore. It's being willing to take a step back from a situation so we're able to see things more objectively and discern the truth rather than react subjectively. Non-attachment requires stillness within, where we quiet and work through our conditioning and programming and this voice that tells us just to react out of fear. But with non-attachment instead, we're able to discern if this certain situation needs a response, and if so, we're able to respond from a place of calmness, of love, keeping our energetic boundaries in place. I hope this helps. Follow me for more.
Oh, I love that definition of non-attachment. I do believe that Ross Rosenberg's technique of observe but don't absorb is effective for conflict resolution. And yes, I do believe that it's effective for dealing with a narcissist, right? To me, it's a recontextualization of the gray rock technique, right? The gray rock. When you gray rock a narcissist, what are you doing? You're behaving like a gray rock, emotionless. You're answering with one-word responses. Yes, no, maybe 3. I'll be there. I understand. That's gray rocking. So observe, but don't absorb. Typically, when you're dealing with people that are emotionally dysregulated, you have to kind of see past this emotional volcano eruption, right? But many of us absorb, especially if it's somebody we love, somebody we couldn't fathom saying or doing something to us that would hurt us. But listen to how this is. At the beginning of the show, we framed it. Is Ross Rosenberg trying to cut off 200,000 years of evolution? That 200,000 years of evolution, right, allowed us to empathize, allowed us to connect. But we have to connect without trauma adhesive. What? Trauma adhesive. Where does the first trauma usually happen? In childhood. If we don't reconcile that, then we're connecting with that traumatic, unhealed adhesive in adult relationships. So, if nobody's ever taught you this in childhood to say, hey, this is what you need to be working on. You need to heal this because you experienced this. Nobody's doing that from childhood into adult relationships. those wounds tend to be woken up when we get intimate with someone else. Now, point one, you got to heal, right? What comes up in your consciousness. You at least have to start working on it. You have to heal, right? It's a difficult thing to say, wow, this is coming from me. Wow, this came from my childhood. Sometimes you got to go talk to somebody. When you're young at school, college maybe, counselor. Then maybe the counselor says, hey, let's go check out some therapy. You know, if you need somebody as a support, I'll go with you, whatever. You get the therapy, and then you start peeling back the layers of this wound, right? Listen, ancestral abandonment. Does Ross Rosenberg's observe but don't absorb technique violate Krishnamurti's cosmic unity? Right? It accuses non-absorption of soul severing ties or contracts. It accuses non-absorption of severing soul contracts, is what I'm saying. You have a soul contract, generational trauma, that has to be reconciled. You have the opportunity to either stop it with you or pass it on to your children. Temporal gaslighting. Can Rosenberg's technique erase generational trauma like Krishnamurti's timeless observer? Claims, right? Non-absorption lets you rewrite ancestral suffering retroactively. Do you see? I wouldn't call it, I would call this practice attachment. If you can look at who raised you without judging them, Krishnamurti says the highest form of intelligence is to be able to observe without judgment. So if you can look at who raised you without judging them, without having an idea or a concept of who they were supposed to be to you, right? A mom is supposed to be this way. A dad is supposed to show up like, if you can look at them without judgment, you might be able to retroactively rewrite ancestral suffering. But it's because we're their children. They were the source of how we love, how we relate. And at some point in time, we put them on a pedestal. It's very difficult to put those "I expected you to be like this" away. And we carry that into our adult relationships. We get triggered over it. And there you have it. The empirical insight on this particular point, PTSD studies show 52% symptom reduction when subjects detach from past traumas. That's Campbell, 2023. Collapsing Krishnamurti's observed into quantum possibility. But do you see how relationship works? Typically, hurt people, right? But hurt people are also attracted to other hurt people. Healed people look foreign to them. Why? Because they're not familiar. This is why people run back to that old thing, that old familiar thing, even if it's toxic. Do you see? Oh, man, we got a caller on the line. I want to get him in here real quick. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic? We got Nikki from the SIP. You already know what is about to be. Come on, Nikki.
Brother Zoe and the fam.
Hey, long time no hear. I miss you.
I miss you all too. Food for thought.
Talk to me. Food for thought.
Did you know when you are properly hydrated,
here we go,
your hair will not frizz in humid environment.
Your hair will not freeze in frigid.
It will not freeze in humid environment when you have enough water in your body. Now you're thinking, why is she talking about that? What does it have to do with the topic? You said observe, not absorb.
Not absorb, yes.
When you have absorbed enough water your hair will not frizz in humid environments.
Here we go.
Because it's reached its maturation point. It's full. The hair follicle says, okay, got enough water. Don't need any more. If you are doing your inner work or exposing yourself to healed people, you can observe and not absorb a narcissist.
Ooh, keep going. I'm listening.
You can be in around a toxic environment and observe it and not absorb any of that because you are full.
Come on.
Don't need the toxic, narcissistic, but you got to do that work part.
Right.
Either through or a combination of your own inner work or putting yourself in environments where positive work is occurring or has occurred. Back to the notion of the 3 people closest to you, they either got that 20 just above dead or they have a higher level of consciousness.
Right. The shame and the guilt.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
I hear you. Come on. I'm listening.
Observe or absorb.
Right.
See, I use the hair as an example because that's something everybody can relate to. And it actually is true. I have proven it my own self. That's one of the ways I can tell when I'm not properly hydrated. When my hair gets frizzy, okay.
I need something to drink.
And I need to tighten up because all of us suffer from, if you don't like water, even if you like it, you don't get enough. Okay? That body that was beautifully and wonderfully made has a observe, not absorb mechanism built on the inside of you. You just didn't know that's what it meant.
Come on. Say more. I'm listening. Teach us.
So now, whatever spiritual spectrum you happen to be on, that's already on the inside of you and it's occurring. All you got to do is move that needle of consciousness. Being in this room, shout out to the people who are a whole person and not 3/5 of a spirit no more from being up in here.
Come on. I'm hearing you.
I'm just saying.
I love it.
Food for thought, people. Food for thought. I still love everybody.
But wait, you just said something so powerful, and it sparked me to go back to Dr. David R. Hawking's consciousness grid. And the lowest level of consciousness on that grid, the numerical value is 20. And that's shame. And shame equates to humiliation, and it equates to a state of being miserable. Now watch this. The lower the consciousness, because this is what you just said, and I'm just kind of reframing it. You tell me if I got it wrong. The lower the consciousness, the more detached and isolated we seek to be. Psychologists or clinicians might call it disassociation. This absorb or observe but don't absorb technique, he's basically calling it a positive form of disassociation. I think it's very dangerous to do that. We have to learn how to be in uncomfortable moments, which is the eye of the hurricane, the eye of the storm, while still maintaining this higher level of consciousness where we can observe without judgment, without condescension, without ridicule. Talk to me a little bit about that.
When you can get out, see, this is why I keep saying love is the principal thing.
Wait, stay right there. Don't go nowhere. When we come forward, Nikki from the SIP will continue this most powerful sermon.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I reminisce with bliss of when we was closer and wake up to be greeted by an argument again. You act like a 10, so immature. I try to concentrate on the cure and keep looking at the front door, thinking if I were to evacuate, you'd probably be straighter than straight and wouldn't have so much hate. Cause you don't know the pain I feel when I see you smiling. And when I roll up, you start wilding. So I front like everything's hunky-dory. But it's a whole different story. You don't like the fact that I'm me. I don't put on a show when it comes time for you to have company. And your friends don't understand your choice of man. They speak proper while my speech is from a garbage can. But regardless, you shouldn't have to be so raw. I'm looking at the front door. I'm looking at the front door.
So this morning we're talking about being the field instead of the content of the field. You begin to witness that everything is happening spontaneously. When you stop projecting res cogitans upon res externa, you will stop seeing out there what you have projected out there. There's nothing to think about. Everything is happening spontaneously as a consequence of that which it has become, as a consequence of that which it is. It doesn't cause other things to happen, but as a consequence of that which it is, we see what we call motion or change about it. That's also projection. But anyway, You become the field. Now you'll notice the first thing about the field. Let's say I would like to be considerate of others instead of always irritable. I'd like to be loving and considerate. So you can think about it from now for the next 40 years and it will not diminish it at all. You've already done that. It doesn't work. You bypass the mind. There's no point in mastering the mind. You just bypass it. Don't go there. You become the field of that which you...
That was Dr. David R. Hawkins. And this is not a racial thing. I'm not racializing it. But what happens is you bypass the mind. I hear what you're saying. But the mind, the spirit, these are all colors in the rainbow. See, it's the same Western approach of if you're ill, cut it out. No. The Western and the Eastern and the ancient approach is let it subside in your non-judgmental observation of it. Not, cut it out, bypass it. You understand? That's like, there's a lump, cut it out. And I understand. There's listen, Western science has its place. But oftentimes we miss the bigger picture because we're looking for a particular result. We bypass the process in bypassing one of those pieces. You understand? We got my sister on the line right now. Nikki was talking about love. Nikki, please finish that thought.
Love is like dew on the morning grass.
Here we go. Come on.
It keeps the parts of you supple. Suppleness gives you the ability to not have dry sockets or dry joints or periods where it is difficult to bounce back. Yeah?
You better keep going. Come on.
So if we get the full part on the inner work in the love place, then that mirror, it doesn't look foreign to us anymore because it stops being the three and it becomes the one, which is the secure, which we are more of a deficit than the other three. But to get to that, to endure all of these things we have to endure in this thing called life, a certain amount of supple is required.
Softness within, not softness as a gift, like, you bring the softness to my life, or no, it's softness within. Yes?
Yes.
Yielding.
We go to the doctor, and I'm not saying don't, because you know what field I'm in. But I go to the priest first.
No. Stay right there. Don't go nowhere. I'm sorry. Just stay right there. Don't go. She's cooking with the rarest grease. When we come forward, we going to get the final thought from our friend, Nikki from the SIP.
So I should win an award for lots of patience, cause that's all a fella can have with a girl who's shooting up his world like Shaft. And I don't think that I can take it anymore. I'm looking at the front door.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. A California bill offering home buying aid to descendants of slaves is advancing despite legal concerns. Critics question its race-based implications, while bill author Tina McKenna, a black lawmaker,